This is Story Route Zero, a podcast where friends gather to talk of their travels through the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, and even the confusing worlds encountered in games. We may not always know where we're going, but that's often half the fun. Do you have a question, comment, concern, or a story of your own? Hit us up on Twitter at storyroute_0. You can email us at storyroute0@gmail.com, and you can find everything we do at storyroute0.com. Let's have a journey. Now that your picture's in the paper being rhythmically admired, and you can have anyone you have ever desired, all you gotta tell me now is why? Welcome to the working week. Except it's Memorial Day, and this is Story Route Zero. My name is Matthew Keel. This is episode 21. We barely survived last week's shenanigans. Phoenix Overdrive Hurricane just coming in here wrecking shop. Love those guys. They're on their second episode this week. We should be happy for them. Go listen to them. Anyway, Matthew Keel, that's me. I've got two friends with me. We're minus the Captain Canada this week. Moose, how are you doing?
Doing good.
You lost some hair.
Yeah, it was getting too long, even though it wasn't really that long. And I was just like, I was sitting, and I think the headphones, like rustling, it was just driving me crazy. So I went into the bathroom, busted out the razor, and just took it down to like nothing. No guard.
I have to say, because I made this joke to Reba, and I have to tell you, full disclosure, so I'm going to do it while we're recording a podcast. That picture you posted on Facebook where you said, "I am the danger," I think is what you said. Yeah. Dude, you look like Timothy McVeigh. You look like the Oklahoma City bomber in that thing. I'm like, we are going to get a manifesto from this guy at some point. But anyway, we also have representing Jersey. He changed his background just before the show started. Jason, how are you?
Doing well.
Cool.
How are you?
Oh, you've got trophies behind you.
There's one number.
Oh, you got a platinum. Is that you got the Gretzky number. The Gretzky number. Congratulations. I'm doing well. Happy to talk to you as well. And we have the specialist of special guests, repping a Yosemite Sam style cross Frank Zappa mustache facial hair situation, and he's trying to spin it to a handlebar for people who aren't watching. Todd Oxtra of the Secret Friends Unite and Co-op Mode. How are you?
I say, a rabbit.
I think you are doing Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh, kind of a mix, I guess. Yeah, not very good. Thank you for having. There will be many different WB characters showing up today.
We could free jazz this all night. How are you, sir? What's new?
Doing fantastic. I am a new fur father. We adopted on Saturday, so we are getting back to that potty training, house training. I do not like either of them.
No.
Right.
No.
But the dog is adorable.
Yeah,
I will say that.
The dog is adorable.
I saw your post. Yeah, I don't.
Not for nothing. I saw that dog, and I immediately said, "I want to steal that thing."
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the whole potty training, like all that stuff. It's like, it's like at least next time I think we get a dog, I want to get a dog that is at least like a year or two old and has some training. If we get another dog, but who knows? But anyways, so that's going well for y'all.
Love the dog. His name is Rufus. I tried to get my wife to say, "Todd, you can name the dog anything you want." It was going to be one type of geeky name or not.
Sure.
Apparently, she named him after Rufus Hound, who is like this British TV personality. So there you go. But yeah, it's great. The dog's beautiful, loves us. The cats are getting along, so it's
like a perfect situation.
Now you can get another one. You can call it Chaka Khan. It's fine.
Oh my goodness. Chaka Khan.
All right, so Story Route Zero. We're talking about what?
I was just saying Rufus, though, in honor of the new Back to the Future movie. Rufus, the George Carlin character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, no, Bill and Ted.
But
Bill
that's
and Ted, Jason.
Bill and Ted.
Sorry.
Oh, your geek card has been burned and shredded.
Oh shit!
It's a long
I
day.
don't know.
It's a
I mean,
long day.
That's
you know,
okay.
I mean,
Time travel.
If it was actually Back to the Future and he got it wrong, then we could talk about
Yeah,
geek card
that's true.
removal.
There
But
was
That's true.
time
No.
travel. There was time travel.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's a whole thing.
Exactly.
So this is Story Out Zero. We talk about video games, but not before we ask how everybody's weekend was. Moose, thumbs up, thumbs down. Double thumbs up. Cool. Todd, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Ooh, just a double. You can talk, Todd. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
allowed
can
to
talk.
talk
See,
because I
we
go on
don't-
about games.
We
and
don't
then-
we don't let him talk about his weekend because he just talks about video games and starts ruining the flow of the show.
No,
He's a
great
problem,
weekend.
but we love him.
Watched Jumanji 2 with the family, which was highly enjoyable, and played a lot of games, which was fun.
Yeah, Jumanji 2, both the first one and the second one are a good time. They're just they're overall just a fantastic ride. You know, good movies to watch.
Much better than they really should be.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I haven't seen them. Did you ever? So what are your thoughts on the original Jumanji? While we're here,
Absolutely loved it. I even loved Zathura, which
I was going to
kind
say
of
that was my next
pseudo
one.
sequel. You know,
That's the
John
movie that-
Favreau.
Yeah, it's a movie that got John Favreau Iron Man.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart was in that one, I believe, as well. So I don't hold it against the movie, though.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, you know,
No.
it's not that movie's fault where she went.
Not at all. No.
Jason, how was your weekend?
Good weekend. Running out of things to occupy the children. We did go to a
My
farm
wife says
today.
that about me.
We took the girls to a farm today. It had a drive-through where they got to feed the animals.
Mhm.
So Aria popped out of the sunroof and just fired carrots at them.
Oh, shit.
She
You
hit
should have been like, Arya, to the guns. Yes, Dad.
Jason's like, Arya, get to the chopper.
Well, nobody got kicked out of the park, I guess. That's a good
I was gonna
thing.
say you didn't get kicked out of the park. So
She hit a few, but not.
Jeez.
But for a 5-year-old, I mean, I don't think much damage. And hey, we can't go up to the animals. The kids are throwing from the car. What do you expect?
Right. Bagel.
But it's a good weekend, relaxing.
Cool.
Bought a new air fryer, so we played with that.
nice.
That was fun. We
Is this an
dehydrated
upgrade?
an upgrade, yeah, from the
Okay.
previous, yeah.
So I'm gonna ask a stupid question. I don't know what an air fryer is. I'm not a chef.
So
Neither is
it's
Jason.
the best
Knows
way
what
would
an air
be-
fryer is, so he's better than I am.
It's sort of like a tabletop convection oven, but it circulates air. There's little oil, and there's no preheating, so it's significantly quicker than using an oven.
Okay.
But we this one comes with the dehydrator, so we dehydrated apples. We made apple
Nice.
chips.
Oh,
which was
apple
kinda
chips.
cool.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
How
You
long
can
did that
beef
take?
Turkey eventually.
The dehydration takes about 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
So that's like an all day or overnight. But otherwise, like anything that would take like 20 minutes in the oven, 10 minutes in the air fryer with no preheating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we've made like empanadas and popcorn chicken, stuff like that.
Cool.
Is that the Ninja?
Yeah, we got the Ninja. We just
Is
got
that the one that folds up, like it kind of takes up less space, or is it
Oh, no,
the
no.
one that's round?
the round. This was the round
Okay.
one.
Yeah, my sister was trying to sell me on one, and hey, I think it's such a cool premise. I mean, because it is like it's like, I mean, it does a lot of cool stuff. I mean, air frying, healthier. And have you tried fried chicken with it, or just
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
It does good.
Yes.
Cool.
You, if you like brush with oil or even a little spray, it does give a little more crunch to it. The girls will eat like fish sticks and like other frozen stuff. We've done like spanakopita, pop it in there. The time saver is a big thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kids are hungry and you're like, I can have something in like, small amount of time. Like
Even
that's
stuff
always
like like make a sandwich, pop it in the air fryer for an extra crisp on it.
Ooh,
Ooh,
very
yeah.
nice.
Like
Like you could like make a Monte Cristo.
Yes.
If your kids have never had a Monte Cristo, have you guys had Monte Cristos before?
I've had
Yes,
one. Yes,
yes.
I have.
Oh,
They're
there's something
good.
about it, like what
They're
is it?
good.
Jelly with
I am a
turkey.
connoisseur of good deli sandwiches.
Oh, my
yes,
goodness.
a Monte Cristo's a good time.
Is it dipped in egg and treated almost like a French toast?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Food.
so that was big quarantine purchase. It was one of those things like we could fix this. Nah, just buy a new one. Okay. All right.
All right, honey. You let me go out there and buy this new thing.
Please, no, don't
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
twist my arm, please.
Don't.
Well, she did want the dehydrator, so I'm excited to try beef jerky. You could.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like beef jerky, dehydrator would be, that'd be good, man. Yeah.
Different like seasonings on it.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted on that.
Cool.
Oh, I await further news.
So, I worked a lot this weekend. I worked overnight.
Sorry about that, man.
11. It's healthcare. What can you do? But I did manage to actually start and finish the entirety of the Last Dance documentary.
Oh, nice.
Now I hear it is really good, and I want to watch it, but I have no access to ESPN. So.
Yeah, me neither.
If you have the ESPN app on your phone, I was able to watch it there for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you don't need like a login for the cable package.
No, I couldn't watch any of the 30 for 30 stuff. I couldn't watch anything else, but I was able to watch all 10 parts of that. It is a very good documentary, and I remember prior to it coming out, there was a whole bunch of news stories about Michael Jordan saying, "Yeah, you're probably not going to like me after this documentary," and I'm like, "Well, your reputation was being one of the most competitive people in the history of society. So now, I mean,
people are not going to like you.
Yeah. Like you're not there. No one was there to be liked. Like
you're not there to be their friend. You're there to be the best and to beat whoever you're up against. So,
I mean, I thought it was a very well done documentary. I know there were a lot of people, a lot of Bulls teammates that were pretty unhappy with how they were portrayed.
Horace Grant.
Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't think Horace Grant came off all that. I mean, it was just Michael Jordan saying, "Yeah, the Jordan Rules book in the early '90s, that was mostly Horace." But even B.J. Armstrong was like, "It wasn't. If it was Horace, there's no way all that information came from just him."
Yeah.
Which is just like, of course, because he spent a lot of time alienating his teammates. I mean, yeah, Steve Kerr said, yeah, he was kind of a shithead, but he was doing it in service of, Bill Wennington, like, I think there was a point either as in archival footage or even being interviewed. He's like, yeah, I don't remember ever giving Michael Jordan an assist where he passed me the ball and I scored. Like, I just don't remember that. But I wasn't there to be his target for a pass. I was there to do a different job.
Fill the lane.
Yeah, and he may not be a Hall of Famer, but he clearly wasn't bad at it because he was part of that 95-96 squad that won 72 games. I mean, or was it? Yeah, it was 72 games, right? Yeah, and then Golden State won 73.
Yeah,
72 was the record.
But yeah, it was a really cool documentary. I'm a sports history nerd in general, and that watching a lot of that just reminded me of times where I was coming into my own, like, appreciating sports. Because I was a huge basketball fan. I did not like the Bulls at the time because they always beat my Lakers. Because I like Magic Johnson, and I still like Magic Johnson.
I miss sports.
I do too.
We all do.
I do too. I know that there are European soccer leagues actually happening, which is nice to hear about, but I wish I could watch them.
I'm not a golf fan, but I caught some of the rematch, the celebrity one they did yesterday with Peyton and Tom Brady. The trash talk was incredible. Peyton's telling Brady, he goes, "Who should I get to caddy? I mean, I could get Eli or maybe Nick Foles." Brady turns around, "That's cheap job, man. That's cheap job." And then I think Barkley called out Brady and says 50,000 to a charity if you make this shot. And he makes it, and it goes, "Suck on that card, Charles."
And Brady split his pants.
Yeah,
he did it. I saw that was.
Yeah.
I'm a Pistons fan, so I lived through those, Jordan rules and that era, and still it's so fun to watch Jordan.
Oh, it was
I got to watch him play a lot.
It was great drama. It was great drama. I mean, even like people shit on the Bad Boys just because, like, don't give me this. Oh, they're playing the game wrong. Fucking no. They changed the rules because of those teams, and that's not. I mean, I think that yes, the rules are better now, but I don't think you don't win 2 championships by being a bad team. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, there's a reason Rodman was on that team with Jordan. I mean,
like I mean, and I get it. I can totally understand Jordan's issues with Isaiah Thomas. I can totally understand it, just because there's a certain just, I don't want to say trauma about it, but like, you get beat up enough by somebody before you actually get over on them. It colors your taste buds a little bit. Anyway, this isn't a recap of The Last Dance or 90s basketball. This is Story Route Zero. We talk about video games. Todd, what are you playing?
Wow, I've been playing quite a bit. Good, the bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately,
start with the ugly.
The ugly.
Yeah.
Man, it's the Sega Genesis collections on Switch. Mark had played it on our podcast, so I'm like, I own that and I should play this. I think there's a lot of nostalgia towards Sega, and I'm like, I remember I loved so many of those games. And then when I played it, I'm like, I don't remember half of these games. There's a couple Alien games. I'm like, what are these Alien games? I'm like, neither of these are like, I think Alien Syndrome was the one I liked, which I think was an actual Sega game. We had a team. It was kind of a top-down shooter type of game. But man, some of these games, I'm like, these are all horrible. Alex Kidd in Miracle World, I think that's one of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
horrible. I was looking at that collection because Matt and I recently played Streets of Rage 4, and I was like, can I get Streets of Rage 1 through 3 somewhere?
You can.
And it's the Genesis collection. But then I was like, no, that's a steep price. I'll wait for it to go on sale. But I feel like Streets of Rage 1, 2, and then possibly like the was it Phantasy Star games? I feel like those, and the Sonics. Like, I always had a good time with Sonics because I was a Sega kid, but I feel like at a cheaper price than what it's at now, full price, like if I can get it on a sale, I feel it'd be a good purchase. But
I think I paid like $15 for it on the eShop. It was on sale at one point.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be on sale.
It's a value play.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, how much do you want to spend for what you're going to play in that collection?
Yeah, but I mean, overall, besides the game, but I mean, like Golden Axe was a fun game. I played Streets of Rage.
Right.
Vector Man is always an interesting game as well. So
is
it's
Comic Zone on that?
Yes, Comic Zone is on there.
See, that's a good one. Now, you mentioned Golden Axe. Isn't it like 1, 2, and maybe 3, or is it just 1?
They're all there. Yep.
All 3 of them in there. Now, see that. Actually,
it's a value.
There's a lot more than I want to play. Actually, than I remember. Yeah. So, anyways,
What is cool? Sorry, Todd. It's because you've played it, but when you start the game, you're in like a kid's bedroom, and there's a shelf, and you actually can browse the games. Like, it's not just like a menu. Like, it's so. It's
that's cool.
It's like from our childhood, like sitting there, like on the floor, picking the games from the shelf. It's kind of a cool feature how they did it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they did a fantastic job with this. It's got all the features you'd want in a modern collection. I haven't dug into like the extras, but I mean, it's got fast forward if there's cutscenes and things like that, or just the long load to even get started in the game. There's save states, all that stuff that you just want, easy in and out of the games, very fast. I think it's a great collection. But like I said, your mileage may vary where you find some enjoyment with the games. But I really enjoyed Golden Axe. So I think I'll check in again to play some more of the games. But some of the games I enjoyed on the Genesis, like Cyberball, not on there. So I don't know where I'm going to get my Cyberball. Which I don't know if you guys ever played Cyberball.
Oh yeah, loved Cyberball. Cyberball was really fun.
Robot football. But other than that, I moved on to a game that I never gave a fair chance, and I wanted to give it a try again, which was Sunset Overdrive. When I first got my Xbox One, came back to the game because I like Insomniac a lot, and I tried it again. First time, the mechanics of the grinding, the traversal, and the shooting never grabbed me. But I'm like, after Spider-Man, I'm like, I want to see if this is worth going back to. I tried it again, fell into the same trap. And I'm one of those people, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
There you go. Exactly. Like the Continental from Saturday Night Live with Christopher Walken. French Champagne, if you remember that skit.
Champagne.
Deep dive. But yeah, so it's still the same thing. Yes, the Continental, as I twirl my mustache.
Settle down, varmint.
But yeah, I mean, all the things. I mean, I know a lot of people love the game, but just didn't grab me. But it's beautiful. Really, I like the aesthetics. It's fun. It's got a cool character creator. But yeah, just did not grab me. So I'm like, what am I doing? So I moved on and played DuckTales Remastered.
Ooh, nice. Now, is this the weekend
Saturday morning cartoon
the afternoon, the Disney afternoon collection?
No, this is the one that came out on the 360
like a few years ago. It was 5 or 6 years ago. It was on PS3
on Wii U,
as well.
PS3, Xbox 360. Was delisted, finally came back, but I was able to play it on Xbox One.
Yeah,
really enjoyed that game. It's beautiful. I mean, the voice cast being from the original voice cast from the show. It was the last role that Scrooge McDuck actor ever did before he passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I admitted my inability to play very well and just played it on easy. And I'm enjoying it so much. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's beautiful. I think it was Way Forward that did that game. And obviously they make the Shantae games, which are beautiful as well. So it's been a lot of fun. And then the last game I played was a game that I never really gave it a fair shake. So I'm trying it again. That is Halo 3 ODST. This is a Bungie game, came after 3. And I don't know if this one was really remastered at all or if it was just the port in the Master Chief Collection. Don't really know.
I think it was.
I think it's remastered.
I think it was remastered, but it wasn't like the 10-year anniversary. Like it wasn't like what they did for 1 and 2.
It was just kind of like, hey, here's like
1080p,
60 FPS. Like
now tread lightly here, Todd. What do you think of Halo ODST?
I still don't like it.
He doesn't have to tread lightly. He can step down on the neck and break their throat.
When I play Halo, I want to be Master Chief. I don't want to have to get health packs.
Sure, not fair.
Yeah, and I just I'm playing it. I get it. They were going for a different feel. The mechanics just don't feel the same. It just doesn't feel as satisfying. As your Master Chief, you're going in there wrecking shit. And this one, I feel like I'm barely surviving, which I get is the point. You're not a Spartan. Totally get that.
You're one of those grunts that gets dropped and dies.
Exactly, dies. Half of them didn't make it. But yeah, it just. I mean, the soundtrack's kind of different as well. They played with some jazzy overtones, did some different things there as well. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't really enjoy myself. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. One of the things I thought was funny when I asked if it was remastered, when I looked at the cinematics, it looks like a Robot Chicken sketch. The characters do not look good at all. The character models when they're talking and the way they move, it was kind of like, ah! Wow. So if you watch Robot Chicken, it was like, it was a cutscene. The combat feels like a Halo.
You see the pasted on mouth moving.
Kind of like that, but with the arm movements and the thing, I'm like, oh, this is weird. Nathan Fillion is Nathan Fillion in this, so it's like you can't even ignore it. He's being Nathan Fillion.
David Cross in that one? Or was he in 2?
He was in 2, I think. Yeah.
Because I remember him like saying, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna start counting," because like after he gets a kill or whatever. But
yeah, and I think the other thing that's surprising when you go back to that game is the control scheme, which I totally forgot. Obviously, no aim down the sights. That didn't happen until later. Crouching is holding in the left trigger or the left stick. So I felt like, they obviously pioneered a lot of the things that made, first person controls interesting. Going back, I'm like, I'm glad those have evolved even further because I don't think they feel as good as they do as like even other modern shooters do. But I mean, they're obviously geniuses. They went on to make Destiny. I love Destiny. So so that's what I'm up to.
Cool. Moose, how about you?
So won't talk about AC, Animal Crossing, because we talk about that too much. But I went on a little bit of a shopping spree on my Switch, so I'm bringing it up real quick just to like discuss. I bought a little game called Jet Lancer. Okay, so this is a fighter pilot game. Matt was like, it kind of looks like, was it Luftriser by
Luftrausers by Vlambeer.
Vlambeer.
Mm-hmm.
This game is a lot of fun. Like easy controls. You got a regular jet boost. You've got an extra speed boost if you need it. You've got regular guns. You've got homing missiles. You got a charged attack, and basically you just go into these missions and do what you need to do and fly around and have a good time. It's a lot of fun because like you'll do a couple missions and then you'll get to a boss, and then so like the game is built in a way where like you start out with an S+ ranking, and then as like time ticks by, like you slowly lose that ranking. And it's weird because like some stages show you're losing that ranking and some don't. But like you could be losing your ranking, but then if you kill like 3 or 4 like fighter ships real quick, it goes back up. So like you could be at like a B, and then you kill like 3, 4 fighter jets by shooting your homing missiles on them. Boom, you're back up into a B+ or whatever. So the graphics are really cool. Like they're nostalgic. They got a nice pixel art to them. Story is, it's not forgettable. It's pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's an indie game. It's not like the best on the planet, but it's good. I'm enjoying the story so far. Like you basically are working for the government, and the captain of your ship buys this experimental plane, and that's what you're piloting. And it's like, well, what do I do if I push this button? And he's like, the guy that sold me the plane told me it was haunted. And he said, if you push that button, like, you'll explode or whatever, or die. She's like, so don't push it and I won't die. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, okay, got it. I want to live. And so like your character's name, I really want to say her character's name's Ash, like in Galaxy, Matt.
Okay.
Anyways, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it. I look forward to playing more of it. So that came out, I think, this past week. It was just recently. So if not this past week, it was the week before. And then also,
before you go on from that, do you guys remember Top Gun for NES?
Oh,
yes,
God.
I had Top Gun for
I
NES.
could never land.
I couldn't either. I couldn't either.
I'd literally buzz the tower every time, and not intentionally. It's like, no, I don't know how to land the damn thing.
No, I could never land. I could never get, to be honest, I could never refuel.
Yes,
like, you know how you had to fly the plane and get it just right, and yeah, I could never refuel. But so yeah, but it's just a lot of fun there. And then there's an upgrade system, so like you can change from having, so like if you hold down your special button, you have like these charged homing missiles that just go out, and there's like a shit ton of them. So it's like if you've got a bunch of quote unquote MiGs coming from a certain area, you can launch those at them and it'll go and home in on them and kill them, or you could just launch them at a boss. But then there's like an upgrade where it's like a beam, so you charge the beam, and when you release, like it's just like this charged like ion laser beam, kind of like what was it, Iron Man's laser beam in Marvel versus Capcom, where he just like he does the special move, pulls out this big giant ion cannon, and it's like yeah, so like that's kind of what it does. But I have not messed a lot with the upgrades. I feel this is going to come to PlayStation, and I feel like the trophies will be linked to getting S+ or S rankings in all missions. And I feel like you're going to have to play with your upgrades to go back and get S rankings. But I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing, I've had nothing below a B, but it's my first playthrough and I'm still kind of learning the controls. There's like, the missions are short, so you're not in something, then you're like, man, I can't stop now. Like you can get through the mission within like 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're on to the next one. And then the boss fight takes however long it takes you to figure out the boss to like fight it. So I played a bunch of that on the Switch, and then I jumped in and picked up Maneater by Tripwire.
Ooh, I have questions.
I'm gonna say it's a shit ton of fun.
Easily top 5 Hall & Oates song.
It is easily
Agreed.
like, oh, that game is a lot of fun. Like it's wacky. It's got crazy characters as far as like you chuckle at them because they're like so over the top, but they're awesome. And then like you're just like the story is, you got enough of a story to where like you're engaged, but it's not like fucking The Witcher 3, you know what I mean? So you're just like, you're out there liking the story, but you're like, I'm here for the action. I'm here to eat fucking human beings and eat like fish and all this stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I look forward to getting back to that and playing that. And it's going on the 2020 platinum list. I would like to platinum this game. So I just got to look at the trophy list and see what happens with it. But so mainly AC, Jet Lancer, whatchamacallit, Maneater, and then I've been playing a bunch of Division 2 as well. I streamed it like the last 2 nights. I don't know. I lost my fucking mind and hit the broadcast button.
I was there for a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've streamed, so I was like, I'm just gonna run around. But so I was playing that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. But that's what I've been gaming.
I heard Maneater has like RPG elements, and you're trying to
Yes.
evolve to like a Shark PG.
It is a Shark. No, it is a Shark PG. So you basically like the tutorial is like, obviously it's not you, and then like you show up in the actual game, and so you're more powerful in the tutorial than but it's not like your powers get taken away. So it's not that type of situation. It's not that typical like RPG where like you come strolling into town and some motherfucker just comes up and, you know, mysteriously takes all your powers and you got to earn them back. No, like you're just doing the tutorial to learn how to swim, attack, all that stuff, and then you get dropped in the game and you're basically like swimming around and like eating everything. Anything you eat gives you experience, and so it gives you experience, it gives you health, and then like
just like real life,
right? Right? So like it's kind of like GTA. You've got like a list of missions that you can go do, and then you can tackle them however you want to tackle them, and then like you can eat whatever you want to eat, but then you got to be careful because like you might wander into an area, you're like level 2 and there's like level 8 alligators, and they come around, they're gonna fuck you up, man. Like those, I can't
wait. Why are gators in the salt water? What is going on?
Well, where I'm at, it's like it's kind of like salt freshwater or whatever.
Okay.
So, didn't you say Tripwire made this, or is it the Sci-Fi Channel? Is this Saturday? Are we gonna get?
So are you just in biodiversity ocean? Is that what this is?
This is not by the History Channel or Animal Planet.
I don't know. I just know the name says alligator and the level's 8, and as soon as I see one, I run like a motherfucker because I'm not.
This is the prequel to Sharknado.
Yet you're a shark,
dude. I'm level 2. That thing's level 8. I can't even. You can't. That would be like you going up against Gehrman, blood level 4. Like you would have to. I'd have to finagle the fight.
He's in that wheelchair. I could take him.
But the fight is not fair. Like there's a difference. Like the Gehrman fight at blood level 4 is like fair.
It's still fair, yeah.
It's still fair, but like this, like they just like boom. It's like one hit and you're dead. And like the way the camera works, I'm not saying it's a problem. I understand the way the camera works because you're underwater. So like you're underwater and it's like you can lock onto your targets, which is great. I like the lock on mechanic. It's really interesting because they have gone the Souls route, and it's like R2 is your bite mechanic, and so like you rapidly type the R or rapidly hit the R2 button to like bite on your enemies or your prey, and then you could also just hold down R2, and then you just rapidly shake the right stick left and right, and you'll thrash like your prey. So it's you have like typical shark motions, but not a lot goes on with the square button or with the face button. So like square, I think you do like R1 is a roll. Like X submerges. So like X dives down and square brings you up to the surface. So you can skim the surface, and if you want to jump up and like attack, like jump into a boat and attack. So your face buttons on your controller are reserved for that stuff. So it's like it's interesting how they like decided to go with the triggers, but it's gonna take some getting used to, but I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it. But yeah, like I see those gators, I'm like, I'm out of here. I gotta get these level 2 catfish, and I'm level 3, but there's damn level 8 gators like swimming right by. I'm like, what is this tripwire? What you trying to do to me? But yeah, and so the other thing is there's a narrator, okay? And the narrator is like the best thing on the face of the planet. So the narrator is I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's the guy that does the voice of Cyril in Archer.
Oh no, Chris
from Saturday Night Live. He was Parnell.
Chris Parnell.
Parnell. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. As soon as you said Chris, I was like, I think it's Parnell. So and it is like dry humor, deadpan, and he is just like on it. Like you just like listen to him, and it's like you can't not laugh at the stuff that he says. But he'll just be narrating things as you're like going, and yeah, it's good. But like you were saying, it is a shark RPG. So like as you level up, you do have to go back to your home. So like you have like a little area that's called your home, and that's where you can level up, and you can upgrade like I believe it is your teeth, fins, like your skin. So like you have like and then like
you put freaking laser beams on the freaking shark's head.
I don't know
That's
if you
gotta
put
happen.
laser beams on there, but I know there's electrocution.
Gators.
I know there's electrocution. Dude, I'm gonna go back and fuck up those level 8 gators. When I get the right level, I'm just doing like a solid 2 hours. So I'm eating y'all. I'm going through y'all like a freight train. But
he's gonna be out there and grinding boards so he can take.
But it's just. But it is a lot of fun. I watched Jason and I think Jeff and maybe Matt, but like we watch ACG on YouTube, and I watched his review about the game. I could see what he's talking about with his like maybe wait for a sale or whatnot, but also I feel, in my personal opinion, the absolute chaos and just fun factor is just like, yeah, this is worth it. Like it's worth it like $40. It's a good price point, I feel, for what you're getting. I didn't even notice a lot of the complaints that he brought up, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just kind of like ignore that, because I believe he was saying like you could basically just grind like on certain amount of fish for like ever and never see a lot of the game or whatever. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna try and move through the story, and the quest as much as I can. But yeah, so I just need to play more of it. I can't wait to play more of it. Although, Animal Crossing fucking Sundays with those damn turnip prices and buying turnips and making sure shit goes right. I went in way harder on Animal Crossing with my turnip prices this week than I ever have. And I'm like, come on, big money. Come on, big money. I do want to say, like, I have a friend of mine who's a coworker of mine, and she invited me to a meteor shower on her island. And so I went and watched, and I was like, hey, I got some bells to give you as a thank you for inviting me to the meteor shower. And she's like, no. She's like, you'll never catch me, like, whatever. She's just funny and stuff like that. And so, like, she messaged us all, and she's like, I had, like, my turnip prices are really good this week. They were like 93, bells a turnip, and mine were like 106 or whatever. So I went to her island and just dropped her 6 bags of like 99,000 bells. I just hit them somewhere on her island and left. And then she had a meteor shower later in the day. And so I came back with another 6 and dropped those as well. And just hung out and watched the meteor shower. Like, the meteor shower is pretty cool. Like, checking out, if you ever get a chance to watch a meteor shower in Animal Crossing, it's pretty chill, pretty relaxing to get. Cause like, everybody can congregate. If you don't have too many people on your island, everybody can congregate in one area and like you basically just wish on the shooting stars, and then the star fragments show up in your island on the next day, and you can harvest them off your beach. But it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I basically said you're gonna take my bells and you're gonna like it.
Jeez.
But it was a good time. Oh, I bought a crown. I bought the $1 million crown in Animal Crossing. So
Which
I
one?
wear it.
There's like 7 of them.
So I bought the real small one. So
Okay.
here was my plight. Okay, I had a black dance suit. Okay, and I bought pleather shoes, but the pleather shoes were like dark blue. I'm like, as I looked at my character more, I'm like, these are not going well. So I went back into Mabel's. For those who don't know, the Mabel store is the Mabel sisters. They're hedgehogs, and they are the fashion people. Their sister Label, she's a fashion designer. Will come to your island every once in a while. But
They're the fashion
Her
police,
name is
yeah.
Label.
Yes.
Yeah, her name is Label.
Label, Mabel, and Sable sisters.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it's the Able
I feel like I'm
sisters.
at an AA meeting for Animal Crossing. I really
We're
do.
not done. so like if you talk to the one who does all the sewing and whatnot, after enough times, like you find out she has a crush on you. And so you just sit there and chat with her and have a conversation. But anyway, so I went to their store and I'm like, where are the black sneakers? And they had every color sneaker except like black. And so I had to change to a red dance suit. So now I run around in like a red dance / tracksuit with a like handlebar mustache, like black sunglasses, and a crown on my head. I just run around like I'm just out there doing my thing, gardening.
None of your villagers will talk to you like, no, he's a cop. We're not talking.
Right. He
Dance
looks
for
like a
me,
cop.
pool boy. Dance. Jeez. I didn't know there was a sex trade in this game.
There is an
Gosh.
animal trade in this game.
Oh, man.
Like
Don't get
Like,
deep on Nookazon, Todd. It's dark.
Drago's in boxes. Who wants him? Who wants him? It's like animal trafficking, Todd.
Oh,
Man, you should see what my setup's pretty nice. My son, I've lived on his island. I essentially have a tent and like 3 tires. That's where I live. I am essentially the cricket of his
And I am
island.
happy to have that.
Exactly. That's all I get.
But,
So.
yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Jason?
You got a 99th platinum.
I did.
Holy crap.
I did. I had kickstarted a Vita book because Vita is one of my favorite systems,
Yes.
and he's been giving out codes every once in a while to the backers at a certain tier. And I got 2 Radalaika Vita games, which had double stacks. So I went from 95 to 98 this week.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
98 or 99?
99.
Okay.
So one more.
Yeah. Patsy Yager went right for Gretzky.
Yep.
Or no, Gretzky wasn't 98. He was 68. My bad.
Oh, Yager. Yeah. Yager was 68.
Yeah.
Gretzky was 99.
Mhm.
Just to give you an update though, Jason.
Still
I
no
still have-
platinums?
Still no platinums.
Yeah. Great. If you get a platinum, I might look at you differently, Todd. And I'm not sure
How
that's
many years in the making of my platinum?
Your first platinum is a Telltale game. Like, I've been trying this for 5 years.
What is that? That mayonnaise game? I think that's the one I'm
Oh,
supposed to
geez.
do.
My name is Mayo.
My name
Or
is Mayo.
Avatar. I don't know one of those.
I'm
games yet.
gonna go back to the times you were on Nerds Gone Platinum where you said, I'm gonna clip everything that says still no platinum, still no. It's gonna be a sound. Still no platinum. Still no platinum.
Nice.
What
What were the Radalaika games?
Oh, Rush Rover, which is a twin stick shooter. It's actually
Okay.
pretty good. I actually have been playing more of it. I didn't just quit out after the platinum popped.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get the platinum after the first zone.
Yeah.
And the other was Thy Sword. It's a platformer.
Okay.
Took about half hour on both systems. Not
Okay.
a bad game, but like Radalaika. With the exception of Devious Dungeon, most are done within half hour to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there was one that they have that's like 30 hours. I think there's one, of them. And that's not
also-
even a platinum.
Yeah. It is day 66, and I still haven't bought Animal Crossing with no intention to, especially after Moose's pleather and dance suit discussion. So
It's
thank
a
you for
fucking
that.
sexy ass tracksuit, motherfucker.
Jason, you have kids. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous road to hoe.
No,
Well, he's got his daughter
it. I
playing
got
Honk.
it better. Yes.
So
So the Jess wanted to go out the other day alone, like, and we're just talking. She went to Target, like she just needed that, because she's been home with the girls since March 15th. So Arya's like, "Can we play Mario?" I'm like, "Well, the Switch isn't hooked up to TV." I was like, "All right, you know what?" So I loaded up Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quick ask. Why is your Switch not hooked up to the TV? You have a dock.
Yeah, but I play it handheld only.
Well, no.
Really?
Like, you saying it's not switched up to the TV means to me you unhooked your dock and took it off your entertainment center. Like, you just mean it wasn't plugged into the dock.
No,
Like,
the dock's plugged elsewhere because just it's the way.
Oh, it's elsewhere other than the TV. Okay,
The fact that
sorry.
that both me and my wife are in the living room / dining room, both with 2 monitors for work. Outlets are moved around.
Limited. Yeah, okay.
So-
I'm following you now. All right, Jason, I apologize. I was just like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean it's not hooked up to your TV? Like, what do you do with your dock? That makes sense.
It's been thrown in the trash. It's handheld only.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Well,
It's on principle. He threw it away.
This Switch will no longer hook to TVs.
Well, so it was what you saw on the TV was not the Switch version. I
was
bought
PS4 version.
I bought the PS4 version.
Oh my goodness.
So but I realized she has my wife's video game rage. She's screaming at me, "Get his keys! Honk, honk! Get his keys! Honk!" I'm like, slow down. Slow down.
Like, whoa, child. Whoa.
Wow.
No, but that's such a the game is fantastic. It really is. Like, you could just do really nothing for like an hour and feel like, wow, that was a blast.
Mhm.
I threw his keys in the water. He got wet. I knocked down a rake, and I'm good.
Yep. Take that, Gardner.
No, but being on PlayStation now, I did go through so I completed the garden 100%. I went through. I even did like some of the secret side stuff. Then we got him to open the gate. So I'll probably go for the platinum, maybe. I don't know if I'll probably have platinum 100 before that, but
Right.
yeah.
That platinum's actually not a joke. It's actually there are some that are.
There's a few speed run things.
Yeah. I'm like, holy crap.
Is there breeding? Is there like breeding involved, Matt?
In Goose Game, no.
Yeah, because that might be an interesting, dating. We're getting into more
No.
of the
We don't need
animal husbandry. No.
No. A tofu boyfriend was enough.
Yeah, and Jason, you said this is on PS Now.
PS4. Sorry.
Oh, PS4. Okay.
Yes. Not PS Now.
Okay. I ended up subscribing. I got PS Now. I got a year of subscription.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like $48.
Can't beat that. I mean, there's got some good games.
It might be there eventually, Todd.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Yeah.
So I've been I played that. Still playing World of Warcraft. Going through that. What else have I been playing? Played a little Risk of Rain with Moose. Played a little Risk of Rain with
I was going
Jeff.
to say, because if you and Matt weren't going to mention it, I just want to, talk about how I fucking carried y'all asses. And that's why my goddamn back hurts as much as it does.
Ooh,
Fuck you.
Moose, you're a cruel man.
Well, then the game after you leave, I finally unlock the second character, and how many turrets did I buy, Jason?
The first stage was finished in 25 minutes. It took 25 minutes.
And the only reason it took that long is because I hadn't built up any strength, in terms of my bullets.
And that robot moves slow.
The robot moves slow.
Oh, yeah, he is slow.
And nobody could kill me. I got a trophy for lasting for 30 minutes.
He got
without dying.
Have you played that, Todd? Risk of Rain 2?
No, I remember seeing how they changed perspective, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool.
Dude,
It's
it is.
It's really fun.
It's a
It's
really
it's a
good
roguelite, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, nah. I wouldn't. There's random generation in it. It's not really a roguelike though.
But do you say progress? Do you have like checkpoints, levels, things like that, where you continue if you die, or is it like
No. Once you die,
Not
you
really.
die.
Once
Okay.
once you,
Like
once,
you-
once you die, you die. But also, I think it's not like. I would put this more in the camp of like those bullet hells from the '90s, like Raiden.
So
or-
basically,
or
an arcade game.
1942. Yeah,
Just
it's like an
do the
arcade.
same
it's
thing. I
definitely
want a
an
high
arcade
score.
shooter.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I think
Gotcha.
I think the best thing they did was change. It's basically Risk of Rain, but the perspective's changed.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it looked cool. I'm like,
For the
that's so
better.
original that somebody would completely change almost the concept of a game. My son's playing Terraria right now, and he's really loving that. And
Yeah,
that's kind of
Journey's
like,
End.
yeah, Risk of Rain was kind of like that type of 2D perspective before.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was. But
Yeah.
the problem was it was like extremely small.
Yeah.
And I think they went back to the drawing board and were like, how can we make this more accessible? And then they did it. They gave it a third person perspective. And
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's-
multiplayer is fun. Like,
Yeah, better
Yeah.
with friends.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, like I don't mind playing it by myself. So I fired that up on the Switch not too long ago to see how it was because Jason and I last week played Risk of Rain. Like we played it for the first time, and he was having a blast with it, which I was like, yes, this is awesome because we'll play it more. So I fired it up on the Switch. It's not bad on the Switch. Handheld, I'd still think I would prefer it with the Pro controller. But anyways, it runs really well on the Switch. But it is just, it's a good time. Because we jumped in and Jason's like, what do we do? And I'm like, we run around and look for power-ups. We hit the teleporter, we fight the boss, and we go to the next level. And I said, we do that until the game decides we die. I'm like, that's pretty much
Mhm.
what you do. And so like, what's like really cool is like when you, like if you have like co-op partners, like, you know, like when me, Matt, and Jason were playing, it's like, I've got 6 power-ups. How many do you have? I've only got 4. Okay, you get the next 2 power-ups that we find. Boom, you're going. Like we're trying to like keep it fair so that
Mhm.
like one of us isn't super overpowered and one isn't super underpowered. But I think we're all playing the same. So you basically have to unlock your characters through like progression in the game, like beating the first teleporter 5 times, you'll get this character, and making it to the 4th one, you get this character. And so the first guy that you get's got some pretty good. He's a good all around survivor, I guess is what they call him. But it's a lot of fun, and it just gets crazy. And like when Jason and I played together, I'm like, I've never been to this level. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're doing. Like I've never seen this enemy. Like we were seeing stuff for like the first time. But it is a lot of fun. I think it's $15 now as part of like the digital sale that's going on PS4. Yeah, I highly recommend picking it up or just checking out the videos. But Risk of Rain 2 is just so much fun.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I still turn on Borderlands 3, tweaking my build. I got to Mayhem 8 comfortably, playing through that, cleared some bosses. But the game I spent the most time with this week was What the Golf on Switch.
how do you like it, man? Is it
It's
good?
it's so much fun. I
Okay.
didn't know what to expect. I mean, most of the like review taglines were like funnest game I've ever played. Can't put down. I'm like, I want to try this. So when you start, you have to putt the ball into a hole. It's like maybe 15 yards away, whatever. Then it goes back and it looks like the same thing, except when you swing the meter, the golfer flies to the hole, not the ball. And you have to hit him to the hole. And then the third one, the meter that keeps charging, the meter flies.
What?
You swing and the meter goes flying towards the hole. Then
Okay.
there's ones where
Breaking the fourth wall, really.
then
point.
there's ones you have to hit the soccer ball to the net. And then you have to hit the net into the air to catch the soccer ball that's flying.
Oh,
They
geez.
just keep changing. Like when you do it, it says golf, like goal and golf.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, God.
it's like dad jokes.
Oh, jeez.
Dadjokes.com.
Oh, man.
There's like in space levels where you hit the ball in gravity. You kind of have to judge where the gravity is going to pull it to get to the hole.
Oh, that's cool.
There's like a flubber level where it keeps sticking or it bounces crazy. And then there's random stuff like you have to hit the ball and a car will just all of a sudden launch towards you and try to knock the ball off the ledge. It's just super like zany. I will say though, if I had gotten this on mobile, I probably would have had as much fun and then just put it down. But it did launch on Apple Arcade first.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it with controls. I think with the touchscreen, it would have been a little weird. Yeah, a little wonky, but no, it's a lot of fun. I think it's 25% off now. It's like $13. There's a lot of content though. I mean,
Nice.
I've gone through, I think 70 something holes.
Wow.
And you have to keep at certain points. It's gated where you have to finish a set number of holes to get to the next area. And there's just random stuff like soccer, and then there's like golf, and then there's darts. But it's all golf based.
It's all NES golf controls, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking forward to a lot of the Apple Arcade games coming elsewhere. What is that? Bleak Sword? Matt was what we were looking at.
Yeah.
That game just looks awesome, so I can't wait for that to show up.
Yeah,
elsewhere.
Shantae just launched or launches tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's been on Apple Arcade, and it's a $30 game.
Yeah.
From what Mark's told me, it's exactly the same game, which is just crazy.
Yeah. And then like Sayonara Wild Hearts came out
Yeah.
everywhere. Exit the Gungeon is now out on Switch, I believe.
You are correct. It dropped like the same day they did that.
That last direct.
Yeah, the last direct.
Or that last indie direct.
Yes. Yes, correct.
Anything else, Jason?
No, that's about it.
Okay. My time in Funkytown in Animal Crossing has officially come to an end.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Beat it?
No.
I think he's just calling it.
No. External forces have called this for me. My save got corrupted.
Oh no!
Damn, dude!
Yeah.
What?
No!
Yeah.
What happened?
I honestly, like, I was at work, and some downtime, and apparently I had downloaded the patch that came out this week.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's supposed to bork
10.3.
things.
Well, it didn't. I mean, as far as I don't know if it actually borked anything, but for some reason, it might have been just the way it hit my system. It all of a sudden I got like an error message, shut the app down, tried to restart it, couldn't work. Re-downloaded the game, and then I saw the message saying your save file is corrupted. I'm like,
Oh.
Have you contacted Nintendo yet? I've heard that they may hook you up in an
Yeah. I thought about this. But see, here's the thing. I have the choice to stand up to this addiction now.
Or contact Nintendo and keep it rolling.
Or I contact Nintendo.
I see how it is. You're gonna leave me.
Moose is gonna
alone.
just call them for you. Say this is Matt.
You're just gonna leave me.
It's funny that Todd
there.
mentioned like an AA meeting for AC, and then we're talking about addiction and standing up to it. So,
And Moose is gonna call them as you, Matt. He's just gonna call them as you and get it locked. Bring you back in.
You know, let's see. Here's the
me
thing.
and Jeff in the trenches taking grenades.
What trenches? There's no grenades in Animal Crossing. You boys are having the time of your life. It is not a problem without me in Animal Crossing. Now, if this were a game that I was completely necessary for your experience, that would be different. But like I honestly think that like this I haven't come to my definitive conclusion. This is just like where I'm at right now. But like I have gotten more than I could have ever expected out of this game. I loved my island. I loved creating it. I loved doing it. I mean, even when I got my 2 big turnip scores, I enjoyed that.
That turned you around. That's the problem, Jason.
Matt, that's when you want one last score, you walk away.
No.
Moose, you're going to jail for the rest of your life because you can't quit. Matt's going to Tahiti.
I know how blow ends, Moose. You can't.
He got burned. He got burned on the turnip prices.
But then I came back, got 2 big scores, and now I think it's time for me to take my bells and roll.
Burned.
Yeah, I got burned, and then I came back.
And Jeff and I were like, dude, you should have seen him the first week. We invited him to the Discord because Jeff was already there.
I like how you guys invited me. I had Animal Crossing before either of you motherfuckers.
Well, I can't help it that you don't know how Discord works.
I'm responsible for your problems.
I can't help it that you don't understand how Discord works. So
Matt does not want to be in a tracksuit dancing for Tom Nook.
I'm not dancing. I'm just out there watering plants for my friends. Like,
is that what they're calling it nowadays, Moose?
Making it rain one way or the other.
I am making it rain with my little watering can.
Look at Jason. Jason's like, what am I doing? How am I
doing? All right,
Moose truly is like, I got to bring everybody down with me.
No, I don't. No, okay. So here, Todd, this is what we had to deal with. We had to deal with Matt being all
gloom and doom. What happened?
I don't know.
What?
Moose gave up. He gave up.
Did you mute yourself, Moose?
He's just shaking his head. I think he gave up.
I mean, that's fair.
No, the host muted me, which is Jason. I didn't mute me. I was just trying to say.
This is the best episode ever, guys.
Matt was having a shit show of a time with Animal Crossing. You got burned multiple times.
I got burned on the turnip market, and I
didn't get burned because I was fortunate enough to get in with Jeff, fucking goddamn Jeff White.
Jeff shows up. He gets Animal Crossing, and then all of a sudden he's in like 5 Discords. He's sending me videos.
I know.
Here's how you game the system. I'm like, what are you? What the fuck is this?
Who are you, Jeff?
He cleared 200 hours. I just checked my friends list.
Oh my God, he's insane. But so Matt jumped into the Discord. The first time he bought his turnips for the next week's sale, like the first day, he was all depressed, all sad, and Jeff's like, just wait. You just gotta wait it out. And then Matt was able to sell his turnips, so he got a good profit. And I'm like, see, that's what.
And then I did it again.
And then I did it again. I mean,
I will say, if you return to Animal Crossing after this, you do you. But I will end the episode when I publish it with just the Godfather clip.
Oh,
and that's it. If you go back
in.
I got it, and they pulled me back.
You should. But you see, what you should end it with is Fredo going, "I'm smart. I'm a smart person. I was passed over."
So and then it's Moose and Matt on a boat, and only one returns.
Yep.
So
which one's probably?
I mean, Matt's got enough of it. He's had way more hours in it than I have. So if he sits there and he says, "I'm bowing out," I understand that. I do. My goal, if I'm going to be honest with the game, is to get my island a good rating so that KK Slider will come and do his concert.
Yeah.
Because, in all honesty, I have been thinking about it, and I'm like, what am I going to do after he shows up? I don't think I'm going to chase that 5-star rating on my island, because, I've been reading articles where, the system is built against you.
Yeah.
So, the system, there was an article, I know everybody fucking hates him, but Polygon, where the dude had, a lot of trees on his island, and Isabella is like, you have too many trees on your island. And he's like, well, this is purposeful. There's a reason there's trees on my island. And so it's not a fair judgment.
It's called oxygen, Isabella.
It's like
do
when you live
to
in a
fucking
homeowners
breathe?
association and they don't like what you did, and then
Right.
you get kicked out.
Right. Can we also talk about that? I think Isabella is a day drinker. It's fucking 6
Oh, she
o'clock in the
definitely
morning.
is. She definitely
She
is.
starts her announcement, and
She's got bourbon on ice.
She's got a
bourbon on
fucking
ice.
Jack and Coke sitting right next to her, and I'm like, "You're my type of girl. Let's party." like fuck this residence relations. Let's go have a drink or something. Girl.
Is she drinking out of a 20-ounce Mountain Dew?
No, but it's like a glass, and it's like a brown color. It's got you can see it's got ice in it, and
It's not iced coffee. That's for
It's
sure.
definitely not iced coffee.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'll be honest. If you got to deal with like residents or people in general, you're gonna be drinking.
I mean, I don't know what kind of asshole Tom Nook is as a boss. So
yeah. So because you would have to build from scratch.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So it's maybe one of those things where you're like, I'm done for a while and I'll come back later. Because like that might be something I do. Because like I kind of see where you're going, and you're kind of like I'm not gonna play anything else if I keep going this route.
Yeah.
Personally, I am like, I want to do 3-Star Island, get KK Slider to do his concert, make sure all my residents are happy, and then like bounce. Just be like, maybe I'll come back to it again. Maybe I'll destroy my island and restart again.
Yeah.
You know, from scratch. You know?
I am curious what Nintendo would do for you. What can Nintendo do?
They secretly back up all this shit. They're just not offering enough to anybody.
But I'm wondering, because Matt reinstalled, it's similar to if you wipe your hard drive and redo it, like you kind of, it's like the concept of if you delete a photo and then try to do something, you like cause like on a computer. If it's similar, I mean, I see what you're saying. Nintendo might, but
yeah.
I mean,
would you have to send
do?
it? Well, because it's not cloud backup at all, right? Unless they're doing it behind the scenes and not telling you.
There's no cloud backup.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the time Warframe froze my fucking Switch, and I had to ship it out and get it fixed. So
at least that's server based. You'd think that would be like server based. They'd have all that stuff there. Jeez, man.
Well,
if the save's still there and it's corrupted, maybe they.
Come on, guys. This is Nintendo that says you need a whole freaking system for an island. Come on.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's not speculate on this anymore because
we're done.
Yeah, we've beaten this dead horse to the point of disrespect. But I can honestly say that I will probably ruminate on this for a few days, make my one real decision with me, and say if I'm going to go back, I'll go back and start over.
Right.
I had a lot of fun making my island. I got all the fossils. I started breeding flowers. I got all the critters that I could, for the time of year. I started building the dinosaur statues right outside my airport. So when you walk in, you see a Stegosaurus on one side and a T-Rex on the other. And then there's a giant Brachiosaurus right in front of you as you walk in. I was real happy with how that was going. But then I'm sitting here thinking, as I started making pathways around my island, I'm like, I have to move all these trees. I have to move all these flowers. I have to move all these houses and buildings. And I'm like, I didn't time travel in the game, so it's not like I was going to pay thousands of bells and then wait one day for one building. And that speaks to my own attention span as a person rather than the game. Because I would eventually just forget what I was doing and be like, why is that house over there now? Yeah. But no, I can walk away now and not be sour on Animal Crossing. I've watched 4 or 5 KK Slider concerts. And I was really glad to have done that. I was really glad to engage with all the little mechanics that go with that. I was glad I got I had a couple of good experiences in the turnip market to offset my bad one. And
I think that's one of the most important things.
Yeah. I can walk away from Animal Crossing going, you know what? This does not ruin the game.
Right. Because I feel like it's definitely also community based. As long as you're in a good community and you can find people and get in and sell your turnips in a reasonable time, like you're good to go, you know. So
Also, still playing Moonlighter. I flawless third dungeon's boss,
congratulations.
and that platinum is now basically doable. Because
Nice.
that was difficult.
Are you
Uh,
on your first run? I know because you beat it on the Switch. Are you on just this is one run?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I already know I have to do another playthrough to beat it within 10 hours. So I think I'm at 13 right now.
Okay.
I know I'm nowhere near 40 deaths though. So
Are the is the Dimensions DLC did it launch?
I know I know it was patched to make root to like make an attachment for it. The trophies are showing up on PSN. I think what day is it? I think it actually launches tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow.
I'm not 100% certain, but that game is still fun. I still really fucking love it. And I also went back to a game that I didn't realize I never engaged with much on PlayStation. But I went back to Darkest Dungeon. I have a bunch of hours in it on Switch, but I fired it up on the Vita of all places, and I know that a lot of people are talking about Animal Crossing as like the perfect quarantine game. Darkest Dungeon is, and this kind of plays into The Last Dance as we were talking about earlier. Darkest Dungeon deals with heroism in a really weird way. That's fascinating. Like the one thing that can really end your characters other than death is stress. And each time you embark into the ruins or the Darkest Dungeon or whatever, it's uncertain rewards, uncertain pay, uncertain survival, and you're just expected to do it. And I think, as in a lot of interesting ways, like I've started to think about going into that game almost like it's like going to work, because there's like a base level anxiety that has increased week after week after week through this. And that's increased dungeon after dungeon after dungeon in this game, especially when you have not been able to send a couple of your heroes to get their stress relieved. It's very interesting dealing with the needs of your party, and I'm finding a renewed love for that game, and I can't wait for the next DLC to drop, because I would like to actually try multiplayer in that game. I don't know how it could be implemented, but I'm interested to see what they try. Also, there's a documentary on the game on YouTube from the channel Escapist. It's about an hour and 10 minutes long. Worth a watch. It's a really interesting dive into the development of one of the better indie games of the past 10 years, as far as I'm concerned. But I still love that game. That game is still fun, and I'm happy to be stressing myself out with it again.
Matt, there are how many? It's now on 3, right? Darkest Dungeons 3.
They've only had one. They've announced 2.
Oh, why did I think there was
more than that? They announced the expansions when they were announced.
They had 2 or 3 expansions.
Yeah, there was the Crimson Court,
okay.
Color of Madness, and then there's the multiplayer DLC, which I forgot what it's called.
Oh, I'm getting it confused with another game that's kind of similar. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was kind of a similar concept. With the crew, side-scrolling. God, it was, I think it was Vikings or something like that. What am I thinking of?
Crusader Kings?
No, I forgot.
Which would be
Sorry,
fine.
I was confusing it with that type of game, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be nice when 2 drops.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, don't rush them.
Oh,
But
they will.
I wonder if they're going to go to the route like a lot of indie games have been going lately with the Switch. You know, are you playing it on Switch?
I'm playing it on Vita, but I have it on Switch. I have played it. Yeah, I think before now, most of my playtime is on Switch.
Because I was wondering, like, if it plays well on the Switch, I could see the sequel, like, dropping there, being like, oh, hey, it's console, well, not exclusive, but you know what I mean.
Switch and PC, and then
it
they'll
makes
bring
its
it to
debut
PS4,
on
yeah.
Switch, and then it's on PC. I could see them totally doing something like that, just to like be like, boom, you know? Because I still feel like, I mean, I love my PlayStation 4, but like a lot of shit gets lost.
Oh yeah,
The
definitely.
shuffle on there, like it
Definitely.
does. But I need to play more of it.
Like I find, I mean, on that little topic, I find myself managing my library more on Switch than I ever do on PS4, because I'll look at what I have on PS4. I'm like, there's too much fucking here.
Right.
And it's
like you look at like
it is analysis paralysis almost immediately. Whereas on the Switch, I can be like, do I want this here? And I will look at what I have and be like, okay, I don't need you anymore. Don't need you anymore. Right. And move it away.
Like we've talked about this, and I mean, I've had a Switch since 2017, late 2017, but I would buy a lot of my games on the PS4 because like trophies and stuff. But then I'm like, man, like if it's coming out on if it's coming out on all of it together, like I'll just get it on Switch. I don't have to worry about trophies. I've got the portability. I can play it, you know, during my lunch breaks while I'm at work. You know,
I find myself having more access to my Switch than I do my PS4.
Right, exactly. And like I was gonna do that with Maneater, but Maneater is like releasing on Switch at a later time in 2020, and I was like, well, you know what? I'll just get it on PS4. I mean, I play a lot on my PS4. I have access to that just as much as I do my Switch, but I like the fact that my Switch is like pick up and go. Like I can do all my stuff in Animal Crossing that I need to do, and then when I come home, I'm like, I have free time to do like whatever I want. And so, like, and then there's a bunch of games coming out soon that I'm just like, man, that'd be nice on the Switch to have it on the go, especially since I got my Satisfy grip, because like it makes playing the Switch portably like way more enjoyable.
I'll make a recommendation that I think beats the Satisfy grip, bar none. That is the Split Pad Pros, which I love. They essentially
say that one more time, Todd?
It's the Hori Split Pad Pro.
Okay.
It's essentially a pro controller split in half. You get full size everything. That's the only way
the Daemon Ex Machina controller.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I hate the Joy-Cons. They have tiny buttons, bad sticks, tiny little controllers.
Let's not talk about drift.
No, but it's not even that. It's just like the fact that to me, playing the Switch with those Joy-Cons is a worse like controller experience. It's that's where I'm like, I can't play the Switch that way. I play it off but that's the only way I've been able to play portably, and it's a comparably the same size as the Satisfy grip when you add it on. So for a portability thing, if you're using the Satisfy grip and you're on the go or somewhere like that, it's just exactly the same. Doesn't use up your battery at all. And like I said, it's got full size sticks, full buttons. It's got a D-pad built in, and it's like $50. But to me, it is bar none a much better experience.
I think the one advantage of the Satisfy grip over the Hori sticks, and I haven't held the Hori sticks, so I don't know, but I feel like the one thing I noticed, even I'm okay playing handheld with the Joy-Cons. I have not had a problem with it, but I feel like the Hori controllers would be too bulky for the screen, so I feel like I could break them off.
I don't think it's any worse than like the Wii U.
Okay.
If you were fine with the Wii U gamepad,
But like, does it feel because sometimes
Nope,
like
not at all. I think
feel
it's as structurally sound as the Joy-Cons.
okay.
And like I said, I hated playing Breath of the Wild with it because I felt like it was so scrunched. I
Mhm.
actually it impeded my gameplay. I ended up doing this. So I think if you're interested in that and you want a better way to play Switch and you don't want to compromise, because I feel like the Joy-Cons compromise me from a better experience with a Pro controller or something
Right.
like that. It's to me, it's the best way to do it. So you got
So
there.
to speak upon that, yeah, like the Hori. So the reason I got the Satisfy grip was just because I was like,
It goes around the Joy-Cons, right?
right, yeah. So it is basically like a docking system. Like
Brings your hands out a little bit too. Yeah,
you
it brings it out a
basically
little bit. Yeah.
shove your Switch into it, and like it basically gives you something more to grab than the Joy-Cons. And I just tried it to like, no, it was today. So I was like, I'm gonna check my evening prices on the turnips, and I pulled it out of the dock because it was sitting in my dock, and I'm like, Jesus, this is like really weird because I'm so used to using the Satisfy grip while playing portably. Um, there are some disadvantages to the Hori. I can't list them right now because I can't think
It's
of
got
them.
no motion controls, no
Right.
vibration,
Yes.
and no
So
NFC.
like,
But
yeah.
it's I've never had it once say, "Oh, it's going to stop me from playing."
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
not like so like it's preference, and
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm leading with that. And like, so I'm like, I like the vibration, I like the motion control. So I'm just like, let me put it in the Satisfy grip, and I enjoy the hell out of it. But yeah, you got a lot of people that are like the Hori works. I just feel Nintendo needs to do a better job and say, listen, okay, we understand like the Joy Cons are there to make it an even playing field. If you take your Switch and you go somewhere and you have multiplayer, like
How
both those
often
Joy
does that
Cons.
really happen, Moose?
No,
Nobody wants to play sideways. It's
right,
the worst way to play. Yeah.
right, no.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but they are so set on that. It's like, well, give me two options. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, Todd? Like
Yeah.
give people the option to take the Joy Cons with them so that it's an even playing field when you turn it on to the side, but also give legit gamers an option where it's a comfortable control pad. So now, you were talking about playing Breath of the Wild. I bought an 8-bit do,
Yeah.
SF30 plus.
SF30, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played the vast majority of the Breath of the Wild with that controller.
Yeah.
I don't think I had a Pro controller at the time. Then my parents surprised me with a Christmas gift, and it was a Pro controller. I think Pro controller's fucking phenomenal.
It's a really good controller.
The reason I mainly use the 8-bit do is because it's more portable than the Pro controller. So like I could basically throw the 8-bit do controller in my bag and take it with me, and I had a dock, sit my Switch on and just play with that. I actually ordered the most recent one, which is like a PlayStation 1 controller, because it has turbo buttons, and it's all about turbo buttons when you play in Animal Crossing. But like there's like so many options. It's just I wish Nintendo would provide more official options, and like not like everybody else fixing their fucking ass backwards problems. Like
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
I mean,
Like,
I'm with Matt. I primarily play in handheld, and I don't play because it's just because I go places. I play in the house portably.
Mhm.
It's just easier if Ari is watching TV. I can. But what I found, because I know you're comfortable with it, Matt, with the Joy-Con. Look into the left Joy-Con by Hori. I have the Zelda one. It comes with a D-pad, a full D-pad, but it's still the same size.
Form factor. Yeah.
The only thing is you can't remove it won't work unless it's attached. So
yeah,
like if
you
for some
can't
reason you
move it.
took it like the Joy-Cons out, you can't use it like that.
Yeah, like Matt likes to use when he was laying in
Like when
bed.
you can't do that then.
He's like little setup TV screens right here, and he's just laying there playing, doing his little fishing.
Have you guys seen it's called, I think it used to be called a Switch Grip or something like that, where it's essentially it takes your Pro controller and it adds a mount to the Switch.
Yeah, I've seen that. It like props up.
Oh,
So I
like
know-
it turns it into an NVIDIA Shield.
Essentially, or like kind of like what they do with the Xbox for Game Pass or no
Yeah.
XCloud. I've tried that and it's really good too. So if you
Okay.
like the Pro controller and you just want to throw it in your bag with that, without the Joy-Cons in and want to lock it in, to me that's still even a better way to do it. It's a little bit top heavy, but once again, you're not compromising with, I would say, lesser controls. Which makes
because I'm getting like I'm on my third set of Joy-Cons.
Jesus.
I'll send you guys a link. There's a really
That's
cool
fucking
Kickstarter for that.
aggressive. I'm still on my first set.
Like the Joy-Con drift on my left stick is ridiculous. Like
So, now wait a second. You still have your original Switch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so see, I've gone through two Switches. I had my first Switch, and then I traded it in when they dropped the one with better battery power, last year, and got my second Switch.
Now
So
you
I
don't have the Switch Lite, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I have the full. Dude, I ain't fucking retarded.
I've got the full. Hang on.
Wow.
Hang on.
Wow. I thought I was controversial.
No, listen. I wanted to bang my coworker's head against the wall because he couldn't wait to get a regular Switch, and so he bought a Switch Lite. And I'm like, you're limiting yourself on such a level that is just ridiculous. But his girlfriend, he bought his girlfriend a Switch for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting Animal Crossing, and then he wanted to play Animal Crossing, and then we had the fucking coronavirus, and we had the limitation on buying stuff, and he was trying to find a Switch, couldn't find a Switch, and so he was like, I'm just gonna buy a Switch Lite, and he bought a Switch Lite, and I'm like, oh,
enjoy your solo play or your co-op on a 4-inch screen.
I love the portability because I could take it to work and play the Switch during my lunch break, but I also love the fact that I could plug it in my TV. I would never give that up. I would never give that. I would wait. If my Switch didn't exist and they were like, you can get a Switch Lite or you can wait and get a Switch, I'll wait and get a Switch because I want to play it on my TV. You know?
Why did they remove that feature from the Switch Lite? I just don't understand what.
It's probably cheaper. I mean, obviously it is.
I mean,
I'll
bet you there's a significant amount of people who spend more time handheld than
there
on
is.
TV.
Well, Jason,
most of the polls I've seen have said basically 50-50. So
Jason's
but
a prime example.
But
Jason plays more.
There are the people that will talk about it. There are the people that have the platform to talk about it. And then there's Nintendo's analytics.
Yeah.
Which they do have. Because every company, that's how everyone watches analytics on their game system.
Right.
That's why achievements were created, is so people could see, how far people were getting in games.
Yeah.
It was probably it was their goal to get to $200. And if they say the dock is worth $80, it looks really dumb. It looks really dumb of them to say, "Oh, here's a $200 system that can do the same thing with just a HDMI cable." They would probably look like
assholes. So that's probably why they took it away. Right? No, that's
I've probably played 2 hours total docked, but I don't. What I like about the dock is it's an easy charge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I hate. Even my Vita. I have the Vita, the docking, the charging station. I hate my 3DS has to plug in. You unplug it, the wire falls down behind the end table. You're fishing for it the next time you have to get it. I enjoy, but I mean, I probably would have gotten a Lite had I not had a Switch. I still have my day one Switch. I played once with Moose. We played Mario Kart, and the only reason I played dock was because we had to be on PSN, so I didn't want to be holding the Switch and the PlayStation controller with the headset.
Yeah.
This was when Mario Kart first came out, so there really was no option. And then maybe for an hour playing Goose Game with Aria, because it was just easier on the TV. But I mean, 99.9% of my time has been portable. So I would, but
and portable works for you because you have to fight for TV time.
Right.
The TV in our living room is fucking mine. My wife never uses it. So it is either running my PS4, playing PS4 games, YouTube, watching movies, which is rare, or it's playing Switch. So like when I come home and I'm like, well, I still got to finish some stuff in Animal Crossing. I pull it out of my Satisfy grip and drop it into the dock and fire, turn on my Pro controller or my 8-bit do controller and like play some Animal Crossing or whatever, but I can see where it's like you have to fight for TV time, like, and I feel like also the Switch Lite, like I know I made the comment it's retarded, but like kids, here is another thing that where the Lite is better than the regular Switch. Like when I first bought a Switch, man, I thought I was gonna fucking snap those Joy-Cons right off of it. Do you not? So like,
I still think that. I'm still afraid
really?
of it.
So like, here's the thing. Like, for the first time ever, I can hold my Switch like this on end in one.
And you're not worried about it just going.
And not worry about breaking the Switch off at the Joy-Cons. I know you're doing it, Jason. But
I'm waiting for it to switch. Or waiting for it to snap. Just fall out of your.
but like. I just got the Satisfy grip because I'm like, I need a better way to hold this portably. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whatever. So read a lot of reviews, bought the Satisfy grip, and I'm 100% satisfied with it. I can see where Todd disagrees with Hori grip. I've looked at the Hori grip, and I'm like, that just adds bulk to my system. I'm good with the way it is, but it's like. That is where the Lite wins. Like the Lite is perfect for kids. It's perfect for kids. It's not only is it cheaper, you can give it to your kid and you don't feel like if I were to give my Switch, if I had a kid, to my kid, I'd be like, no, like you're not getting the Switch.
Don't break it.
You're not getting the Switch. You know what I mean? Like you're not, but like a Switch Lite, it's a solid piece of portable entertainment and they're rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? So
yeah, a quick question on that though.
You got your pluses and minuses with either or, but like as far as I am as a consumer, I'd much rather have the ability to plug it into my TV for those longer play sessions.
Yeah, and one thing I thought about this is, especially for older gamers, when I hear about this, I'm like, the Switch Lite in my hands felt too small. The screen was smaller, and especially when you've got a lot of games with text, to me it seems like a big disadvantage because the Switch screen is typically sometimes almost smaller than my phone and the Switch Lite. So I just think it doesn't work well when you've got games like that where you've got a lot of text, things like that. I think about The Witcher. The Witcher text was already so damn small to begin with, and now it's there, and it's like, oh, that would be a horrible experience.
The Darkest Dungeon text would be
so like
unreadable.
I want to know something.
It's difficult to read on Vita.
Like
Keep your enhanced eyes out of this, Jason.
No. What I'm trying to say is like, aren't like the people that make video games getting older?
Yes.
So like, why is text getting smaller? You fucking pieces of shit.
Let's not get. I mean, you're right. But see, I could also say we're all getting older by the second.
I mean, I love the fact, and I kind of agree with Jeff, where like he's like the children of Morta text is like super small, and Jason's like, I read it just fine with his fucking enhanced eyes. But like, I can understand where Jeff's coming from.
With his freaking laser surgery eyes.
like you're talking about like The Witcher 3 and the text is super small, and you're like, well, do I want the Switch Lite or do I want the regular Switch? Where I can see it, or do I personally want to pop it into my dock and see it on a TV screen? Where it's like even bigger. That so that's another thing we didn't talk.
I need an eye doctor. No,
I need a lot of things.
So we went on a very long detour there. I have one more game to talk about before we.
Sorry,
really?
Oh my God,
before we wrap, this is a quick story.
Start playing this since we started.
No, my wife and I decided to fire up Castle Crashers yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
And she's played it before. She really likes playing that game. She's played it with Moose a couple times.
Yeah.
But I think this was like the second time we fired it up since I got my PS4 Pro. And when I got my PS4 Pro, her save data was lost because she does not have a PS Plus account. She has her PSN stuff is saved. Like she still has her platinums and her trophies and whatever. But she realized that, wait a minute, my green guy is level 1. How did that happen? I'm
so
like,
you need to tell the listeners what PS4 Pro you have.
I got the Death Stranding PS4 Pro.
That's really right, motherfucker.
It's really nice, and I got a urine controller. It's great. But
I'd love to see. I can't wait to see that thing. I'm coming to see you this year, and I can't wait to see the urine controller. I'm gonna take pictures. You can have it to my Instagram and my Twitter.
You can have my BB DualShock. But so we were playing that. She was a little frustrated, but this frustration was the invoking of a different type of player in my wife that I had never seen before. Like with my main character, I'm no, not rage. I'm like in the 20s, so I'm definitely stronger, walking through a lot of these enemies. Like she's getting hit one time, but what she did, the way I saw her play Castle Crashers, and it has been months since we played, but I saw a new player that I had never seen. She basically she scouted that screen looking for fights. She's like, where's the enemy? I'm going to kill him. Where's the enemy? I'm going to kill him. Like, honestly, she was playing like I play games. She was Leroying the fuck out of Castle Crashers.
Wow.
And I'm like, Reba, I just want to say, you don't think that you're getting better at games. That's one of your constant frustrations when we play together. I'm going to say today you are demonstrating constantly that you are better at games. Now, granted, she Leroyed herself into death. That happens. That happens.
Oh, Leroy.
Right. I'm like, you ran into a mob of 5 guys, and then the 5 guys took you out. That's just math. That's just math working against you. If you're going to go 2, fine, you could probably survive that fight. 3, you're pushing it. But if you're going to go at 5, you're going to meet the ground. But she was mixing it up, getting amongst it. She was getting levels. We remembered your advice about Castle Crashers. Don't level up your melee strength so you can gain experience faster. And
can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
All right. Is it not a little bit more of a struggle than the initial was, like the initial release? So the initial release was like what, 2008?
2008, yeah, something
That's
like that.
12 years ago. I'll admit my fucking skills are probably.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, sometimes I play it and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. Like okay. I remember being a lot better at this game than I am.
Yeah,
now.
right. So that might be it.
But we were between me being a little too strong for a lot of the enemies we were fighting, and her just basically just not showing absolutely zero fear, whether it was a boss, whether it was, a grunt, whether it was a bigger guy, whether it was something that could beat her in one hit. She just got in there and said, you know what? I'm going to fight you. You're not going to fight me. And it was wonderful to see. I put the controller down. I'm like, I gave her a hug. I'm like, you are good at games now. And she's like, nuh-uh. Yeah.
If you take the Bloodborne Platinum from her, I'm going to punch you in the fucking throat.
Oh, she doesn't want to play Bloodborne.
You see.
She doesn't want to play Bloodborne.
You decide that for her right now.
No, I had the conversation with her, Moose. I talked to her about this. We had this conversation. We sat down as a couple and had the Bloodborne talk. We've reached that stage in our marriage where the Bloodborne talk happened. If she doesn't want it,
That's like hamstringing.
No, it's
A
not.
fucking all-star basketball player.
No, hang on.
They don't realize their potential.
Hang on.
Whoa.
I'm not saying she doesn't have that potential. I'm saying she's not there right now. And I think
What I'm saying is, like, give her the time to get there.
But she's also said, I don't want to play that game. She's also, those words have come out of her mouth into my ears. She said, I do not want to play Bloodborne.
I'm going to have a conversation with Reba.
You go ahead.
I see her this year.
Wow.
You go ahead.
All right.
You go ahead.
So you don't touch her fucking profile until I have that conversation. Just kidding. I love it. Whatever. Y'all run y'all's house.
Yeah.
When you want to run your house.
Like she said, she doesn't want to play it. I'm not going to force her to, because if anyone's going to force her to play it, it'll be me. But no, she's like, you know, I feel like I'm getting better at Castle Crashers. Guacamelee will be in our future, and
Nice.
I'm really happy.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good
absolutely.
one.
So yeah, that was a cool thing to see, and it's also if you for anybody that plays games with their spouse and their spouse is the gamer and they are not, like, don't always make sure you are being encouraged rather than being told to get good. Because and that's the one thing, like, even when we've played together, Moose, like you've never been like, oh, you've always been like, no, that's fine, Reba, you're doing fine. And you've always been encouraging rather than saying, you know, you're not even trying this. Why aren't you trying this?
Well, I feel like it's, you don't want to bring a negative.
Exactly.
Bring a positive to the table and say, listen, like,
Yeah.
because, like, we've had this conversation about Helldivers.
Mhm.
Like, Helldivers is just design, and it's the same with Risk of Rain 2. Like, they're both designed, your death.
Yeah.
You were going to die.
Yeah.
So,
It's,
like,
the game ends at some
right,
point.
right. Like, the game ends with your fucking death.
Yeah.
And so, like, the whole thing is trying to figure out how you can be better at the game, realizing your I mean, it's much like life in general, you know,
Yeah.
just realizing your
You
mistakes.
got to wake up the next morning.
And figuring it out and picking yourself up off the ground and throwing yourself back at it. You know what I mean? You know? So
Yeah.
Um
So yeah, that was my last thing. Now, Todd, I know we've probably kept you a little bit over time.
significantly.
I apologize.
That's okay, gentlemen.
But
it was you gave me time to actually look it up. And it was oh crap, did I lose the game again? I found that game that I was trying to remember. It was the not Vineland Saga. Dagnabbit, did I forget again? Oh, I'm opening up my tabs.
He closed his tab. He's got 50 million tabs.
I've got 85 tabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, here it is. Found it.
If you say Dark Souls 3, I'm gonna be like,
No.
what the hell, Todd?
Oh, it was like the top. There's Vikings involved. Okay.
Okay.
What is this game called? It's the Banner Saga. That's what.
You were thinking. Okay.
Banner
okay.
Saga is good though.
Yeah, okay,
There's
okay.
three of those. So
There
that's,
are three of those.
sorry.
You are correct.
There are three of those. Yeah, no, you are correct.
So yeah, for
I'm
some
glad-
reason I
you know,
associated the two.
Everything is solved now. We've
Yes.
finished. We've cracked it. All right. So Todd, tell us about Secret Friends.
Secret Friends Unite is a podcast all about comic books, fantasy, science fiction, TV, movies, all of those geeky things. No video games. But if you want video games, you go to Co-op Mode. That's our podcast with Mark Carabin, the Canardian. So we have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group, Twitter at Secret Friends U, and we have a podcast. Check it out there if you like geeky stuff. That's where you find us.
I mean, all three of the hosts here, other than Todd, are in the party. So come join us.
Absolutely.
Secret Friends Unite, man. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Good stuff.
I mean, yeah,
It's
honestly,
a great
like,
community, too. Not
you're-
only is there, good postings there, but there's good
Well,
people.
I mean, Todd's podcast was the first, like, I mean, they say indie podcasting, but he was the first person that, like, I like seen in a Facebook group start a podcast. And I'm like, oh, he just started a podcast?
Just
You just do it?
shooting from the hip.
So
Todd
like,
was just like,
honestly, I probably would not be here without Secret Friends Unite. So.
All I can say is it's the best thing I ever chose to do, except for my family and my friends and everybody else. But
Right.
I love it because I have met so many cool people, had so many great experiences, and I made so many great connections and relationships. It's so incestuous because people I know that have been on my podcast have started their own podcasts, and it's great to have all these connections. So
Some have
you guys are
started
doing
3
great.
and 4 podcasts, but I don't know any of them.
No, not at
I know
all.
some of them.
Probably been on a few of those, Matt.
I probably hosted a few of them.
exactly.
Anyway, anybody else have anything to add before we get out of here?
Whoa, here she comes. She's a man eater.
I'd mute him if he didn't lead us out every week.
Moose, what do we say to the people who are hopefully going to be here next week?
Bye.
Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fun culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXOD-merch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Ray Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. This has been an episode of Story Route Zero. Thank you for coming along on this journey. We sincerely hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we enjoyed having you. Once again, you can find everything we do at StoryRoute0.com. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute_0, or you can email us at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. If you'd like to hit us up individually anywhere, you can find Moose at Sven, that's SVHENN, everywhere on social media. That's PSN, that's Twitter, that's Instagram. You can also find him on Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall at GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, and he also has a website called whereisthepausebutton.com. Captain Canada is the only Story Route Zero exclusive. He's the only one you can only find right here on the show. As for me, I'm Infinite_Rewind everywhere I'd like to be. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's PSN, and Twitch. I also have my own website, InfiniteRewind.com, where I do all sorts of weird writing and rambling. Check us out at all the places. And remember, you are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. But for now, it's back to the real world for us. We will see you on the next one.